Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your boy Maine back with another stream. It's Friday. I could be outside enjoying the beautiful weather, doing fun stuff, but instead I'm here for you to provide you with some hopefully useful information about my thoughts on the market. So, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. Ideally, we're not going to talk about James Wynn outside of a quick little rant that I'm going to give on him because I do think that there's some value there. But what we're going to talk about is really the monthly close that's coming up. Hold on. Excuse me. We're going to talk about the monthly close that's coming up tomorrow. Monthly close is tomorrow, and the monthly candle looks like this. So what we really want to talk about, in my opinion, is are we going to nuke, right? Are we going to get a big monthly close below the prior high? I'm so sorry, guys. I have allergies. You know what I'm allergic to? I'm allergic to your bullshit. That's what I'm allergic to, so cut it out. But yeah, we're going to talk about the monthly close, my thoughts for the month of June, areas of interest. We'll talk about some trade things that could set up, all that fun stuff and more. And then as always, we'll cover your guys's chart requests, questions, roast people from the chat, the usual. What's up, Timmy? Hate from Canada, my boy. I'm intermittent fasting now. So I'm not eating. My eating window is now 12 to 8. And goddamn, do I get hungry. Anyways. So I want to start, you guys. What do you want? What do you want first? Do you want the quick analysis on Bitcoin? Or do you want the James Wynn rant? You guys let me know. You guys let me know. What's up, David? How you doing, bro? Bulking tips. Eat a lot. Simple, not hard. Bulking actually quite easy. Okay, we'll go over Bitcoin first. So we've had a couple of things happen over the past few days that have given us, some pretty clear signals that the market was going to pull back. So if you go and watch Wednesday's stream or anything like that, I said we have a few things working in the favor of the bears, right? We've got these 7 green weekly candles in a row. Unsustainable, right? We've got Bitcoin conference happening. Generally sell the news during these conferences. It's the end of the month. Usually some fuckery happens at the end of the month. And then most importantly, we had this weekly SFP. Swing failed of the prior high. Whether or not you like it, hate it, love it, don't care, every time we get a weekly SFP, we get a little bit of a reaction. Not always a huge one. It's not always this, right? But you always get some kind of reaction. There's a weekly sweep. Here's a weekly sweep. Here's a weekly sweep. This was a weekly sweep. So it was too big of a signal to ignore. The other thing the bears had going for them is the potential of a monthly sweep now, right? So there was enough clues to look for reasons to short. On top of it all, we had our H12 SFP right here. So we had a weekly sweep, H12 sweep, low time frame structure shift, and we were failing back below that all-time high level. So if you watch that YouTube video that I uploaded yesterday where I talk about how I contextualize trades around the all-time high level, very simple. The all-time high level is your bias level. So when we're trading above here, okay, it looks good. Soon as we get back below, you got to wonder, okay, maybe we're going to pull back. Because if this is strong, it needs to hold above. The 12-hour time frame's high enough of a time frame that if we lose the all-time high level, that is going to be at the very least short-term resistance. And so that's what we had here. We came up, we took out all-time high, we put in an H12 sweep, and we've now put in, lower lows and lower highs here on the H12. Now, do I think that this is over and it's going to zero? No. But there is a chance that the likelihood of us trading down to here is increased. And I've talked about this over the last few videos. I was like, if we get below this order block, it now becomes a breaker, right? Because this is the up candle, the down candle, for an up move. This created the weekly SFP. So if you have an order block here, right? And it makes an up move up, right? And then price gets back below. Sorry, I drew this wrong. If you have an order block like this, right? So you have a high here, and then you have this. Okay, this is the order block that created that high. You expect this to be support, but if it's not, it becomes a breaker, right? That's exactly what this is. And this is that all-time high, prior high. So that's all that is the difference between an order block and a breaker, right? Is it's an SR flip, basically. So I think there's a decent likelihood now that we probably get some sort of washout into here, maybe. Maybe we pump a little bit first and then come down, but the likelihood is increasing. We've now taken out this low, so I do think that this could provide a short-term bounce, but for now, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets capped and we trade again once more lower and then potentially get a bigger bounce. I think the likelihood of a bounce to a new all-time high is a lot stronger from down here than it is from right here, right? It just makes more sense. We liquidate anyone who was long from down here, run all of those lows, tag that weekly fair value gap, and then we get the move to all-time high. So I think that's much more likely for the push to all-time high. Can it happen from here? Sure. But I think the lower we pull back, the deeper we pull back, the stronger the move that can result from it. 'Cause it's going to wipe out more people. It's going to allow price to reset a little bit. We've been going like this, right? It's unsustainable. So the deeper the correction, I think the better in this instance. Looking at this on the high time frame, the one major cause for concern here, I'm just going to delete this for a moment so it's a little bit cleaner, is monthly SFP, and then you have this fair value gap here. I think if you're a bull, you do not want to see this fair value gap get lost. Anything down here, I think, is a bid. But if we invert this fair value gap, meaning if we sell through it and then it becomes resistance, I think that is not ideal. And it opens up the door for a much larger correction, which we just don't really want to see. And then you're going to see some people, I guarantee this. I guarantee you're going to see some people start posting this. They're going to start posting the market maker sell model chart. The one that ICT created, but I made popular. Don't forget who made it popular. It was me. None of these other fucking clowns. They all copied it from me. Nobody was trading ICT until I was with crypto. Not a single fucking person. We're going to see this 100% on your timeline. One way or another. You're going to see this, okay? Someone is going to put this. I might be the one who does it just so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But you are going to see people start posting something along these lines, right? They're going to say, okay, we ran the liquidity. Bang. That's what this is. Now we're going to start the sell model all the way back down. I guarantee you will see this somewhere on your timeline, if not already. Is there validity to it? Could it happen? Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that we have to frame all of our fucking trade ideas around something that might happen. We can take this level to level because at any point during this, right, it can reverse. It doesn't have to completely go all the way down. So if you're just saying, oh, well, it has to complete this model, it doesn't. So don't become too stuck in this mindset of like, this has to happen, right? It's the same thing with Wyckoff because it's the same fucking chart. People will post this Wyckoff stuff and be like, dude, it's got to do this Wyckoff schematic. And then they become so stuck in the pattern, they lose all context of what's going on. Hate from London. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you. KM says, God, you're annoying. Goodbye. Damn, that's not very nice. Goodbye to you as well. Allison J says, kill me. Okay. How would you like to die? Listen, love, thanks, Yassine. Appreciate you, bro. We know you're gay, Taylor. I saw you the first time. I just thought I'd let you try and get away with it. So whether or not that's going to play out, I don't know. Are there similarities? Sure. This is this is the sell model, by the way. Like, if you guys want to know how you got bullish at the lows, well, what's the inverse of the buy model, right? It's the sell model, or the inverse of the sell model is the buy model, right? That's all we had here. Took out low. There's your reversal, right? Like, this is just the inverse. That's all it is. Anyways, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but if we lose this, I do think that there's a much higher likelihood of a deeper correction. And we're in the premium pricing here, right? Like, a deeper correction could simply mean coming back down into here, right? Into this, or even into this fair value gap. And just look at what altcoins are doing right now. So Bitcoin dominance, it's at resistance, but it's still pushing up. Like, some of these altcoins are down, what, 30, 40%? Some of these altcoins' monthly candles are red now. Fartcoin's monthly candle is red. You wouldn't guess, but it is. Some of the biggest performing candles are starting to, or some of the best performing assets, the monthly candles are starting to look a little meh. Hype is down, was down 25%. So all I'm trying to point out here is, if we get a really big correction on Bitcoin, altcoins get smoked. And I talked about this in the last video. Even if we correct just to here, altcoins probably get smoked. So you just got to be aware that if we get a deeper pullback on Bitcoin, some of these altcoins are going to pull back pretty hard, but that means that there's opportunity, right? That means that there's opportunity. And even if we get like a giga rug on Bitcoin, we just saw how easy it was for some of these altcoins to do 5, 10, 20x's, right? Off of the lows. Maybe not 20x's yet, but we saw a few go like 5x off the lows. Like, look at FWOG. It pulled a 5x basically, 480% gain in the month of May. There's going to be more opportunities like that on this next correction. Because remember, these things got bottomed out with Bitcoin eating shit. So if Bitcoin eats shit again, but then eventually goes up, that next low, there's going to be some killer opportunities. I always try and remind you guys, you want to try and frame your thinking in the way of opportunity, right? Not, oh my God, price is going down. Fucking, I hate the bears. Bears are gay. Price going down means you might have an opportunity to get in on something at a discount. Buy something near a low. Get into something before the next pump, right? What's up, WRL? Fartcoin is prolapsing. Disgusting. What's up, Sedated? Yeah, I know. I want to get the stream out of the way early today so I can go enjoy my Friday. Check ETH's weekly sweeps. I see them, bro. Like, it would be very disappointing if ETH just topped here in the first area of major resistance. But again, I would look to buy ETH here. So if Bitcoin pulls back and ETH comes to like 2K, like you got to buy it and you pray for the higher low, right? Again, it's opportunity. So I think realistically, the next few days, like there's no need to rush into any positions. Let the monthly candle close. Let the first couple of days of June play out. And ideally, what we're looking for on Bitcoin, again, is if we're going to long it, other than some sort of scalp here, maybe, I want to see it down here. And maybe I don't get it. Maybe we come back up, but great. Then guess what? I'll long on the fact that this now looks really strong again. Right? Like if we come up here and we break this, you just long and your stop goes there. You target like 120,000. 130K. It's like, that's it. Not too complicated. Appreciate you, Daniel. Hey, Nick, take any action or will you wait for the reaction? I'm not rushing into anything quite yet. I'm going to just wait and see what the next few days bring. Remember, it's the weekend. We're coming up into summer. It's the last weekend of May. Got a monthly candle closure. The most worrisome thing, I think, for the bulls is this. Like, if you're a bull, the most concerning thing is that we've put in a weekly sweep and you got to be like, damn, is this just like this 2.0? Like, that would be not ideal, but hopefully that's not the case. But that's like the biggest concern for the bulls, in my opinion, is just watch this. Now, you also have to look at equities, right? A lot of these equities charts, I think, are coming into trouble areas here. To me, this is, I think, exactly where this can top out if it's going to. Same with NQ. Like, if it's going to reject, it's from right fucking here. So you got to just be a little cautious, right? Like, a lot of stuff is in resistance. So a really good fucking mental exercise for you guys right now is go through your feed and see who was bullish here and who's bullish here. I'm not saying we cannot go up from here. We absolutely can. But there's some people who were bearish here and now they're telling you to get bullish after a 45% move when a lot of stuff is coming into resistance. When to me, up here, it makes more sense to be cautiously bullish. Defensive, cautiously bullish, being prepared to flip your bias. Here, it's like all in, balls to the wall, all in, balls to the wall, all in, balls to the wall. Now let's wait and see. Get above here again, all in, balls to the wall again. There's a lot of people who were tentative, and now they're giga bullish. So you got to ask yourself, okay, am I getting good information? Or were you one of these people who you're like, why was I not bullish here, but I'm bullish here? What's the reason, right? Is it just because the number went up? That's obviously not a good reason. So I think that right now we're at an area that's super critical. We're going to want to watch. Like, everything is kind of coming into, resistance. So what does that mean? It means we're either going to go lower from here, or if we're going to go higher, we're going to flip these levels, and we now have a clear bias level across the board. Think about it, okay? Price is trading up like this, okay? Up, and now it's hit the biggest level of resistance on the entire chart. Do you just stay blindly long here, or do you say, okay, maybe there's a potential that we come down, so I want to be prepared for that, or at least aware that that's a possibility. And then if we break through this, guess what? I now have a new support level that I can just long off of. Easy. And that's the entire concept of the last video I uploaded yesterday with the contextualizing the trades at all-time high. That's exactly what it is, right? Thanks, C Donut. When did I quit vaping? A while ago, dude. Vaping is fucking horrible. Don't do it. Smoke a cigarette like a man if you're going to do anything. So that's all I got. That's all I got really for Bitcoin, guys. We've got a big monthly close here to pay attention to. And we just got to wait and see now. We just got to wait and see now. Sorry. What's up, Timeless? Zin in the anus is better? Maybe. I don't know. I just like I like nicotine, but I just can't help but think that anyone who is smoking those vapes, like, they're too easy. It's too easy to smoke them. You can pick it up, you can be inside, you can just fucking rip that thing 24/7, and it's like, we don't know what the long-term effects of those little fucking sticks are going to be. I feel like it's going to be like electric super cancer. All right. Can't think of one scenario why it would still be bullish BTC. I don't know, because BTC's over 100K. The president just said they're going to buy Bitcoin as a treasury asset. Like, there's definitely reasons to be bullish. Sol has an H4 bullish SFP. Potentially. Potentially, right? Like, if this closes decent, I mean, I like the H12 here, to be honest with you. This could lead to a very nice bounce. Like, I told you guys, I posted this on Twitter. I said, this is where I think Bitcoin bounces from. It just took out a low, right? Win closed the majority of his position. He got partially liquidated on a bunch. I still think we probably come and get these, but we can definitely trade higher first. Right? So a lot of these coins like can have bounces. Like, you look at ETH, right? We very well could be bouncing from here. Like, this could give you a bounce. ETH could make a new high potentially, right? So if I'm just talking about low time frames because you asked. If this closes as a sweep, there's probably a setup here, right? If this can close the day as a sweep, which is still hours away, by the way, there might be a setup here. Even from here to here, that's like a 2-hour trade. Take out all of those highs. So there's definitely going to be opportunity, right? I just want a little bit more vol to come back, right? A little bit more volatility. We've been going basically, you know, Bitcoin's just bled down basically for the last week plus. ETH is just going sideways. Sol is just going sideways, right? So as long as we get some volatility back, I'm happy, right? But let's not forget that, you know, James Wynn lost $100 million in this range. So I would love to get filled at 64,000 on Bitcoin. Jeez, AZTV, you're just a dirty dog, aren't you? So you're basically saying that you think we come and we make a new low below this one and we come into like here. So you think this, basically, like this order block. Here's liquidity. We just sweep out the high. We do this. Is that what you think, AZTV? Can this happen? Sure. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. Anything can happen, right? You got to remember, the monthly range on Bitcoin is this. This is the monthly range. So as long as Bitcoin does not close a monthly candle below here, the structure is still bullish. It's still bullish on the monthly time frame. Now, do I want us to come down here? No, because that means every altcoin that you own goes to like negative pricing. But in theory, we could still have a higher low on the monthly, and the structure is totally fine. This was a higher low on the monthly chart, and this was an entire bear market. Right? So anything can happen. Yeah, I know my buddy Tori thinks that we're going to have some sort of black swan, and he thinks it's going to be like a repeat of this. Like where this is a fake out, and he thinks we're going back down to here, I believe. And then he thinks alt season from here. So the argument that Tori's making, who's a homie of mine, is that this is a fake out, right? And this is a fake out here. No different. He thinks this closing back below this wick is just a fake out, just an SFP. And then he thinks what's going to happen is we're going to actually trade back down to here. And then he thinks this is where alt season actually starts. And then we get one more blow off and then everything's dead. What do you say that the government argues that crypto is supposed to be anti-establishment and now the government is buying Bitcoin? If you go watch my last stream, I did a big rant on exactly that. So could this happen? Sure. I'm not betting on this, but am I open to the possibility? Of course. You will be a much better trader if you open yourself up to the possibility of one, you can be wrong. And two, price can go down. Like it can go up and down. Like a lot of the issues that early on people have in trading is they're bull-pilled. They only think price can go up. And two, they hate being wrong. Once you're comfortable being wrong, like it opens up and it's a whole new world. A whole new world. Just like Aladdin. It's like, who cares if you're wrong? You're going to get shit wrong all the time, and it's totally fine. Anyway, so I want to touch on this guy real quick, okay? So this has to be one of the most impressive implosions I've ever seen. So if you guys were around last bull market, there was a guy that went by Alex Weiss. He's still on Twitter. You still might see him around. But he famously ran up like over $50 million on FTX and basically zeroed out. And I think there's some really important lessons to be had here. Now, at first, I felt really bad for this guy because nobody wants to see another guy get zeroed. Like, I don't care if I don't like you, if we disagree on stuff. I don't ever want to see anyone lose all their money, right? Like, it's terrible. We're all in, like, no one is on the same team here. Okay, we're all against each other. We're all trading against each other. We're all trying to get each other's money. I get it. But you never, I never, as much as it's competition, and I want to be the best, the very best, right? To catch them is the real test. To train them is my cause. there's still like a camaraderie between degenerates. You know what I mean? Like, it's me versus you, but like, I don't want to see anyone get carried out. And this guy got carried out. Now, why I don't feel as bad now is because I've been told that this guy made his money scamming. So that makes me think kind of goodbye, good riddance, rest in piss. So if he made his money scamming, I don't have 100% of the accuracy here, but Zach XBT shared a thread showing that he was rugging meme coins and shit. That makes me give a shit less. The fact that he was basically willing to put his balls on the line and, you know, try and run it up and go for the sun run was cool. But knowing that he got his money, from scamming makes me not feel as bad for him. That being said, what you've witnessed here over the last month is something that in the gambling and the trading world, we call it tilt. Going on tilt is when you, and he's still in trades. He's still in trades right now. Going on tilt is when you effectively are throwing out all of the planning, the risk management, and you are purely acting based on emotion. You're chasing the dragon. Whether you're chasing a loss or you're chasing wins, you're not acting rationally. And this was a public display of that. And the fact that this was available on Hyperliquid, I think is interesting because it shows you a few things. One, trading in public is very hard. It's an added pressure. Two, it shows you that, you know, these kind of things are possible in the space. So he did manage to make, you know, like 80 million some odd dollars. He gave it all back, but it shows you what's possible, right? So that can be motivating in a sec, but it just also shows you the dangers of gambling and going on tilt and losing sight of how much money actually means in the real world. I don't care what this guy says. Oh, you know, money doesn't make you rich. Oh, 80 million isn't anything. I wanted $1 billion. This is meaningless to me. I don't believe it. I guarantee that this guy is spiraling. Because to lose that kind of money is insane. That's generational upon generational wealth. To lose it in such a short, spectacular fashion is going to massively demoralize you and just destroy you mentally. And his tweets about, like, he's tweeting, "Don't cry in the casino," and then he's crying in the casino. He's tweeting that he's got followers now. Who cares? I'd rather be known. No, you wouldn't. I promise you, it's way better to be unknown than known and have money. So it's a very good lesson in tilt, because everyone who's been trading and gambling for a long enough time, you're going to go through this. Not maybe to this hilariously exaggerated extent, but you will go on tilt. You will notice this in yourself where you're on a heater, right? And your equity curve. I guarantee some of you have experienced this already. You're winning. You're crushing, right? And then you get cocky and you take a big fucking swing, right? And then you lose. So maybe you were up 50%. And then you take a huge trade and you lose half of what you made in that one opportunity. And then instead of going back to doing what you were doing here, which allowed you to grow, you say, well, I'm just going to go big again and I'll make it back, right? I just got to bet more, one more time, right? One more spin, double down, go all in, martingale, right? Like, we've all been there, dude. You're chasing that dragon, and then you end up zeroing. You get fucked. You get busted. You lose all of your money. The same thing goes when you're on a losing streak, man. You're just losing and losing and losing, and then you do something stupid. And instead of your losing streak being a higher low that over a long enough time period is meaningless in your account growth, you end up doing something dumb. And you guys need to learn what this feeling is, because it's not something that can be taught. And I think that this was as close as you can get to realizing it without doing it yourself. You saw it happen live. Like, if you go look at his positioning, you could actually go look at the trades he was taking. And you would see, like, price would go down, right? So he would be long. He's long. Price goes down. He closes his long because it's getting close to his liquidation, and he's sketched out. And then it would go up a little, and he would long more after price went up 1%, only for it to go back down again. Like, he was churning himself to dust. And the only way you can lose that amount of money in price action that looks like this is by being on tilt and just like fully retarded. And he was trading the way that you could trade this in price action that was doing this. And I talk about this in videos in the past, right? Like, if price is trending super hard and buying every single dip is being rewarded, but then price starts going sideways, if you buy the dip and then never close, you end up round tripping every trade. You've got to be able to identify if there's a change in regime, if the environment has changed. So this is something that all of you will experience one day in your trading. You're going to go on tilt. You're going to get emotional. You're going to throw out your game plan. And that's okay. But what you want to try and do is make sure you never let it get so bad that you completely blow the fuck up. You never want to completely blow up. Hey, Beauty, dare you to give me a coupon to the Wealth Group. What the fuck is the Wealth Group? Bro got 200K followers in 1 month. Who cares? No Twitter account is worth $100 million. Like, what the fuck, bro? I've got 600,000 followers. Is someone going to give me $100 million? I'll give you my account immediately for $100 million. Not the same. But the sooner you can identify these feelings of being on tilt, the better. Because you want to nip it in the bud. It's going to happen. You're going to have to learn to deal with it. But do not let it get so bad that you fucking lose all of your goddamn money. I highly doubt he's part of the Wynn Casino family. Yeah, we can look at Fartcoin. So Fartcoin, I like it below $1. I don't know if it comes all the way down here. I drew this out last stream. I like it down here. I don't know if it comes that low, but if it does, I'll buy. We got that weekly demand there, 3-day order block, that low. Like, it could pump from here. But if we run this low, I think that that's a very good buy on Fartcoin. But maybe we don't. Maybe we don't come there. Guys, ENA is a swing trade. I don't know why everyone's so obsessed with it. I told you guys I'm taking this trade on the monthly chart. I'm still confident that this ends up being a higher low. That's the entire thesis of the trade here. So maybe this doesn't, but if it holds here, I think there's a pretty good chance that it goes higher. I still think it looks okay on the weekly, right? Like, I ideally, I would have liked to see it hold above here. But as long as it's holding this as a general higher low area, I still think that this can have a short-term rally. But this is going to take some time to play out. I'm playing this on a very much high time frame basis here. How do you scale up if you start from zero? Like, it depends what you're trying to do, right? But you've got to add money to your trading account, right? Have a job. Have other ways that you can earn money. And add it to your account. Grow your account. Use prop firms. Farm airdrops. Find ways to get more money. But I wouldn't be putting all of your money into a leverage trading account until you know what you're doing. People always ask, how do you scale up? Oh, I only have $1,000. How am I ever going to scale up to 100K? Well, let me tell you something. If you can't turn this $1,000 into a bigger number, what makes you think you're going to be able to trade 100 grand anyways? You're not going to be able to. Like, the most common trope in trading is the reason I'm not rich is because I don't have more money. When the answer is usually the reason you're not rich is maybe because you're not good at what you're doing, right? Like, I love asking this to like people who are like pseudo intellectuals and stuff. Like, there's this guy, I was at a wedding, and he's like an astrophysicist or some shit. Like, he's like looking through telescopes and whatnot, and he's like looking into space. And he's like, oh yeah, I work at this telescope and I look into space and I'm, studying fucking blah, blah, blah about the stars. I'm like, dude, that's fucking sick. Space is sick. Okay. I love space. Super cool. So I'm like, what do you think about Elon Musk? Obviously, like, the guy's launched rockets into space, doing it better than fucking NASA, doing it on his own dime. I'm like, isn't that cool? Like, what do you think? Like, he's like, well, I actually think Elon Musk isn't as smart as he comes off to be. And he's actually not that smart. And I'm like, but dude, he launched a rocket into space. He's like, but he didn't do that. The engineers and stuff. I'm like, but it's his company. Like, he's the richest guy on the planet. He's like, I just don't think he's a genius like he pretends to be. I'm like, oh, but you are? How come you're poor then? Like, if you're so smart, why are you poor? Maybe you should use those brains to find a way to get some fucking money. And it's the same thing for trading. Is all these people think, like, if I just had more money, I would be rich. And it's like, in reality, if you can't turn a little bit of money into more money, if you can't 10x your $1,000, what makes you think if you have 100 grand, you're going to turn it into $1 million? You know what I mean? It's not the case. If you're a good trader, you will grow your account over time by making good trading decisions and compounding over time. That's how I made money. Is I was in this for years and years, and each cycle I had more and more and more money, and then the reward becomes bigger. But the only way you're going to get rich is if you have the ability to turn money into more money and then keep it, not go back to 1,000 every fucking time. So there's other things you can do. Like I said, get a job. Have another source of income that you can use to supplement your trading account. Trade with a prop firm like Breakout, where you can trade a larger account for a small amount of money. Farm airdrops. Like, I think if you just signed up and used Hype and just took a couple of trades, the airdrop was 6 figures. So there's ways in crypto outside of purely trading that you can make money. You can start scamming people. Just start fucking scamming people in the trenches. Do I suggest you do that? No. But there's lots of guys on Twitter, look at James Wynn, who got their start by fucking people over. They rip people off, they scam them, they rug coins, they launch coins. Maybe that's the way that you scale your account. Do I suggest that one is a good idea? No. But hey, what's the gay son or thought daughter question for trading crypto. I don't know. I saw someone post earlier. It's like OnlyFans daughter or Pump Fund streamer son. I think, yeah, I don't know, man. Both are hilarious to consider. I don't think they're quite on the same level. Pump Fund is just a place you can stream. I think like what's much gayer is like a meme coin cult member's son. I mean, on a 25K prop account, two-step, how much would you risk per trade? 1%. Yeah, having a trust fund is a really good way to scale your trading account as well. Looking at everything through the lens of money is kind of soulless. Sure, but money allows you to do things. Like, it just does. Anyone who's like, money can't buy you happiness is simply never had enough money. Money makes it way easier to do the things that you love, take care of, and spend time with the people you love. It just makes everything easier. It buys you time. It gives you the ability to have freedom of time, which in my opinion is the most valuable asset. Silver. You're saying... Yes, Nikola Tesla did die poor. You know who didn't die poor? The other fucking electricity guy, the one who wanted to charge for it. Do you like silver here? If so, would you take silver 32 September calls? I mean, it looks interesting here. Like, I would say this probably breaks up. Maybe it's losing a little bit of momentum here, but I like this last monthly candle. I like this last monthly candle. But it's got to it's got to break out here, because right now it's rejecting here. So if it gets above this, I think it starts to look pretty interesting. Otherwise, there's a chance that it retraces at least some of this move. I read the comments off of everywhere, Solo. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Grindr. I'm on OnlyFans. I'm on Pump Fun. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Snapchat. I'm fucking sending carrier pigeons out. I'm everywhere. Have you considered a bid on Sydney Sweeney's soap? No. Ondo. Oops, wrong Ondo. Yeah, I mean, just kind of lackluster. Very similar to a lot of other alts, right? Took last quarter's low. It just hasn't really moved yet. You know, if the market's going to go up, this is kind of where you want it to go up from. Right? Danu, hate from India. Thank you, brother. What's the biggest drawdown or losing streak I have? I don't know if I can remember like the losing streak in terms of like a number of trades, but I have two that come top of mind here. So I lost right here. This is when Jake Paul fought someone. I want to say it was Tyson Chandler or someone. Like he fought, he did one of his celebrity boxing. Maybe it was Nate Robinson. But it was one of the earlier ones. Maybe it was Ben Askren. I forget. But it was April of 2021. And I remember I was crushing, right? Because everyone was. The market was ripping higher. I was longing everything, altcoins, everything. I was making so much goddamn money. I had one of my biggest weeks of all time. And then I remember vividly this move on Bitcoin, right? We started selling off here. And all of these alts that I was long started dropping like so fast. And I was trading on FTX at the time. And the thing about FTX is they had their internal desk and their internal market maker that would make it look like there was more liquidity in these coins than there was. And so I was long some of these coins for, $500K, $1 million notional, but these are like shit coins. One of them was called Band, I specifically remember. And it looked like the liquidity was thick, right? There's orders going through, ticking through. The order book looked deep. As soon as the market started rolling over, the liquidity vanished. And I all of a sudden realized, holy shit, like I'm probably half of the open interest on this entire coin. And if I'm going to close, I'm going to nuke the coin 30 to 40%. And I remember specifically watching, and I can't remember what day it was exactly, but it was like one of these days here. And I'm pretty sure it was this. I want to say this day. And I knew because I couldn't sleep. I was going fucking nuts. And I'm like, if I close, I'm going to be the bottom on all of these coins. And my account went from like 3 mil. And I'm like, if I close, I'm going to get fucked. And I lost like over $1.5 million, I think. Something like that, like 1.25. And I knew as soon as I closed, like all of these coins are going to do this, right? They're going to be this. And then they're going to do that gay bounce where they bounce like 50%. They eventually bleed it off again. But I knew I was going to close and it was going to be here. And that's exactly what happened. And I lost like over $1 million in a day. That was super gay. Yeah, I was a victim of the market makers and it's not my fault. I also had a bad run, I want to say here, where again, I was just gig-alonging everything. Just, it's up only, it's up only, it's up only. And then we had a bit of a pullback and I just oversized on Doge and Doge pulled back like 20% and I ate shit on that as well. And I lost like several $100,000. That was pretty gay. Usually my biggest losses occur by being giga bullish into the top and then you get that big first pullback. But the problem is when the market is doing this, right? All of these dips, you're conditioned that they just bounce. And by the time the top happens, not only do you think that the market's going to bounce, I'm increasing my size because I'm getting more confident. I'm making more money, right? And you're like, it's just going to keep going. And then this is the actual reversal and you just eat a huge dick. And that happens to everyone. The goal is on the way up, right? And then it goes back down. You're never going to have the amount of money you have here. Like this is 100% net worth. You're never going to have that. You're never going to close the exact top because maybe it goes higher, maybe it sells off. You're never going to close that exact level. But ideally, the amount of money that you make here, once this transition happens, you give back 20 to 30% max because this is a really tricky spot. And then you walk away with 70 or 80% of what you made on the way up. That's like amazing. If you can keep more than that, even better. But what you don't want to do is crush it. You have your 100% net worth. Let's say it's $1 million. And then the reversal happens. And by the time it's all said and done, you've given back 50%. And price might not even be down 50%. So you're never going to close the top. You're never going to have that exact moment where you looked at your net worth and you're like, wow, this is the highest it's ever been. You're never going to get out at that exact point. It's never going to happen. But the idea is once the actual top is in, you want to be able to get out and you want to give back as little of it as possible. That's always the goal. Did I lose a bunch on TIA? I didn't lose a bunch on TIA. I lost a bunch of trades on TIA, but it wasn't like a crazy amount of money. I think I'm like negative. I could check on Bybit, but I'm probably negative $150,000 leverage trading TIA. So probably shouldn't touch that coin anymore. Yo, Greg, with a 4-hour POI, how would you look for a low time frame trigger? What are a few trigger systems? The 4-hour POI is no different than my trade. So if I'm using the H12 and I'm using the H1 for my setup, if you're using the H4, use the M15 and it's the exact same. Doesn't change anything. Just different time frames. Yeah, is Ben Askren maybe? I don't quite remember, but I know there was a Jake Paul fight the night it happened, and it was very upsetting. Can a small X account, 5K followers, earn any money from centralized exchange referrals? I mean, in theory, sure. Right? As long as people, maybe you get lucky, you get a whale on there. What's my biggest single P&L trade? A pretty big number. But the most money I've made is simply from compounding cycle over cycle spot Bitcoin. That's made me more money than any trade. But I've had a couple 7-figure wins before. Just closed my sold short from 175. Nice. What's up, Gabby? Yeah, I definitely have PTSD from fucking... I'm stuck... Speaking of your name, I'm stuck in the infinite Tsukiyomi of TIA. If I lost everything and started off with 100K, what would I do to grow my account? I would just trade the 100K. Because I know that I can make money trading. And then I would rotate a lot of those profits into spot. So like I used to have all of my money basically on an exchange. Not all of it, but like a large portion of my net worth and my liquid capital was on an exchange, and I was trading that entire balance. I do not do that anymore. I now usually only keep a fraction of my money on an exchange, and I trade up, I withdraw, and then I trade up again, and I withdraw, and the goal is to not have to redeposit. Sometimes you do. And I'm way more comfortable doing that, and it's saved me a ton of money. Because if you have $1 million on the exchange, that means you can lose $1 million, right? Maybe you're risking 20K a trade, but you can lose all $1 million. You go on tilt, something happens, a hack happens, like FTX, you get fucking swindled, you can lose it all. Whereas if you just have 100K on there and you just use 10x leverage, you're now operating as if you had $1 million, but you're protecting yourself from not having to keep all that money on there. You're not going to lose more than that 100K, obviously. So I don't do that anymore. Where do I store the money? Under your mom's fucking mattress, bro. The fuck kind of question is that? Go up into your mom's bedroom, look underneath the mattress. You're going to see some things under there. Vibrators, dildos. I want you to move those out of the way. Maybe don't touch them with your hands. Then you're going to see a shoebox. Within that shoebox, open it up. Within that shoebox that you've just opened, there's going to be another smaller box that's the size of a fucking like ring. Okay? Open that smaller box up, and there's just going to be a little hand going, fuck you. Okay? Because that was all a diversion. Open the hand. unscrew the middle finger. In there, you'll find a note and it will have coordinates. You go to those coordinates and it will take you to the location that the body is buried. I don't know where it's going with that one, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, so yeah, what do you guys what the fuck do you want to see? What are we talking about here? I just kind of went kind of fucking ham there. Maine, how is Q2 looking like for breakout? Anything we can expect? Isn't Q2 ending in 30 days? Paritaj Gupta says, what leverage you generally use, Maine? Take an example of position size and percentage of stop. Leverage isn't part of the calculation, my friend. It's not part of the calculation at all. All you need to know is your position size. Leverage just determines how much margin you need to put to open up that trade. Leverage is not part of the calculation for how big your position is. Not at all. Q1 for breakout was looking good. I think we did good. I mean, listen, for breakout for Q2, we had a guy, you guys. Okay, I don't think this is crazy. We had a guy who bought a 100K account. Okay? And he doubled it in a month. And then he withdrew 100% of the profit. So I think his payout ended up being like $95,000. He just ran it up. No withdrawals, nothing. Just ran it up. 100K withdrawal, our biggest ever, processed in less than a day. But like God tier stuff. And he paid for that account $1,000. You can paper trade directly on TradingView. You just go down here, you hit trading panel, and then you hit paper trading. Sure, bro. What stocks do you want to see? Did you lose on Libra? I didn't touch that. Your risk on prop is based on the account size, but you have to take the drawdown limit into account for sure. But like on a 100K account, on the two-step, you can lose 8%. So if you're risking 1% per trade, as long as you don't lose 8 trades in a row without winning any, you're not going to breach. But remember, each one of these trades, you're risking 1,000. Like even if you just risk a static 1K, you can do that 8 times before breaching. And you only paid 1K for the account. So I would say anywhere between 0.5 to 2% is probably where you want to sit on your risk. 2% is a little on the high end, I think, but 1% I think is completely doable. Because remember, like the leverage you're getting here is the 100K account. You can open a $500,000 Bitcoin position with a 100K account. It's a huge position. Yeah, I'll go over ETH here. So ETH, the biggest concern obviously right now is where we are struggling at, which is right here. Right? So we've potentially pretty high likelihood, pretty high odds. We're about to put in a weekly sweep here. So, I mean, this is probably pretty easy spot to hedge if you wanted to hedge. I think ETH needs to bounce from right here or probably much larger correction. So bounce from here, or I think we probably go decently lower down to, you know, the range low here, or even down to here. Looking at the high time frame, if we get a big correction on Bitcoin, then I want to buy ETH as close to 2K as possible. I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm just being cognizant of it. So either from here or a little lower. Otherwise, I'm interested down there. Capiche? Maine, are there opportunities to make money in a bear market? Yeah, if you can short, you can make money in a bear market. If you have ways to accumulate cash, you can make money in a bear market. In a bull market, right? You want to denominate in BTC. And in a bear market, you want to denominate in USD, because in a bull market, if you're getting Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going up, you're winning twice. In a bear market, if you're accumulating more dollars and the price of Bitcoin's going down, not only do you have more dollars, but you can buy more Bitcoin as the price goes down. Greetings from Panama. I was just in Panama. RGC, Region Cell Bioscience. I mean, goddamn, bro. Again, where was this tip last month before this thing went up 3,000%? What is this? People are worried about crypto. Am I nuts? Am I reading this wrong? In the month of May, this thing is up 1,300%. Why are you only telling us about this now? The quarterly candle is up 2,600%. Where was this 3 weeks ago? Like, do you work for this company and you knew that there was going to be some revolutionary fucking development that was going to occur that could have made us all so rich? How selfish are you? God damn, bro. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I hope that you bought this back here, and I hope that you're super duper rich now. I don't know what this company does, but goddamn, dude. I'd like some answers, John. Long-term view on crypto adoption. I mean, you tell me, bro. We have a pro-crypto president. They're removing all of regulations. The biggest asset managers in the world are buying Bitcoin. Companies are buying Bitcoin. Countries are buying Bitcoin. Governments are considering using Bitcoin as a treasury asset. All of the banks are starting to use crypto. What else? Like, everything we've ever said we wanted is happening. So I would say the adoption is going pretty good. Has your active swing trading made you more ROI versus spot holding Bitcoin? No, I don't think so. I mean, it depends. Yes and no, because like if I have $1 million account, right, and I run it up 3x in a short period of time, that's obviously more than spot. But I've been buying spot Bitcoin for literally years and years and years. I have spot Bitcoin buys from like under $5,000. So that's a 20x. So it all just kind of depends how you think about it. But the most amount of money that I've made in crypto has been buying spot Bitcoin during these periods, selling on the way up, buying here, selling on the way up. That's how I've made the most money cycle over cycle. Like in terms of just raw dollars. But is that repeatable? I don't know. Like, because Bitcoin literally was under $1,000 when I was first buying it. Even cheaper. I had Bitcoin buys under $100. Obviously, I didn't keep those, or I wouldn't be here right now. But like, so that raw gain is just insane. Even from 3K to here, from 20K to here is insane. Twitter's broken again. No bueno. Do you still believe in 4-year cycles? I mean, until proven otherwise, I don't see why you wouldn't. Right? So based on the 4-year cycle, we topped in December 2020, 2013, December 2017, November, December 2021. So November, December of 2025, which is this year, theoretically would be the next top. So that's a good thing if you do believe in the 4-year cycle. I bought fireworks. I bought salvia. I bought all sorts of shit. I played poker with it. I did hella dumb shit. Yeah, we already talked about hype. Big sweep of the all-time high level there. And now it's into demand here, which I think is potentially interesting. But I talked about this in the last video. I think something like this would make me want to long it, like some sort of sweep below this low that we just created. Probably is the setup I'd be looking for now. But you want to see it hold this fair value gap here. Otherwise, if it loses this, right? So sweep out this low, pump again, right? And then we see. But if it loses this, then I don't know if it holds this. I don't know. We'll see. And again, all-time high trades, very easy. Where's our bias level? Right here. So get below here. Bang. There's your target. If we reclaim this, probably goes much higher. I see daily and H12 lower low on hype. Yeah. There's your low. It broke structure. But that being said, right, it can come and retest this order block. So if we do this, like there's a trade from here to here. I got 3 monitors. I'm actually recording. So I want to know your guys' honest opinion on this, okay? I've been very actively trying to grow my YouTube because I really like YouTube. This is my favorite way to communicate with you guys. I think I'm way better at doing this than I am at tweeting. But it's hard to convert Twitter followers. I just started streaming on Twitter. Maybe that will help. But it's hard to convert Twitter followers to YouTube. I've got over 500,000 on Twitter. I've got 55K on YouTube. So it's been hard to move those people to other platforms, to Instagram, to TikTok, wherever. Whereas it seems like if you have a big YouTube following, that proliferates to all social media. So selfishly, I want to grow my YouTube because I want to get the plaque. And I prefer this medium. So I know a few things to be true. And I've talked to tons of people. One is I got to do more educational videos. The streams are good, but I got to do more educational videos. All of my most viewed videos are educational videos. My order block video, my price action video, all my best viewed videos are educational videos. 2 is I've got to do some of this YouTuber content. So like I look at all the big trading YouTubers and they all do the following. They do setup tours. They do day in the life kind of vlogs, which I think are cringe, but I don't know. They do like a how I got rich, right? Like a how I went from 0 to 8 figures in crypto. They all do the same videos, but it seems to work. And right now, all I do is stream. And I think the problem is my streaming, it doesn't have a super wide appeal. Like people who like me, like my streams, they watch my streams, they're educational. But if you're a newbie or you don't know who I am, what's the likelihood that you're going to come in here and watch a hour-and-a-half live stream? You turn it on and I'm just saying gay, fuck, retard, making jokes about cum, right? You're not going to get it. So I obviously have to start mixing in some more of this type of content. So I think what I'm going to do next week is I'm going to record a setup tour video. I think that'll be kind of cool. So you guys can see my trading setup, what I have on my screens, my monitors. So I think that'll be cool. We'll see how it goes. And then, yeah, I got to do like more short form stuff. So I'm going to be experimenting with stuff. I love you too, Danu. Appreciate you, bro. Do a series where I teach a newbie how to trade. It's an interesting idea, actually. Yeah, most people want meme coins and shit. I know. I'm working on it. I'm still experimenting and stuff, but you know, I think we'll get there. I'm still just kind of figuring out my way. I do think that like the life that I live is cool, but it's different than like, you know, so many of these trading YouTubers are like, I'm 22, I live in Miami, I have a rented Lamborghini, I go to Poppy Steak for dinner every night, and I hang out with the same 5 guys, and we're all fucking making money in e-commerce, trading, crypto, whatever. And it's just like the same dude over and over and over again. And it's like, okay, well, my life's a little different. I wake up early, I take my dog out on a hike in the beautiful forest, right? And I come home, I have a nice breakfast with my wife. I check the charts, I answer emails, I make video. Like, you know, it's different. It's different. So yeah, what else do you guys want to see? I'll check a couple more charts here. Yo, what up, Chase? I know, bro. Here's the thing, bro. My fucking car is paid for cash. My watch is paid for cash. I'm not leasing the lifestyle. I do think that there is a market though for like what trading can be realistically, because the lifestyle that a lot of these guys portray, it's sexy and I understand the appeal, but it's not real. Like they're selling you something and it's a lifestyle. They're saying, listen, if you learn from me, you can do all the stuff I can do. And it's just not the case. The lifestyle some of these guys live, where they're flying private, they're driving supercars, you know, they're living in Miami, they're going out to the club. I've done all of that, okay? You want to go get bottle service at a good club in Miami, not some dog shit fucking club. I'm talking like 11, okay? I'm talking Live. Like, I'm talking the main clubs in Miami, the big boys. Go to Vegas, same thing. Tables, 20, 30, 40, 50. Me and my boys have spent $80K before on a table for one night. You want to drive a 488 Pista Ferrari? That's like a $700,000 car. You want to be renting a penthouse in Brickell? Could be 10, 20, 30 racks a month, depending on the spot. So, like, this lifestyle that they're portraying to you is not attainable for the average person. Even if you're a good trader and you can make money trading, to get to that level, you either have to have so much money that the amount you're making trading is huge, right? Like you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, or you are selling some sort of mentorship, some sort of course, some sort of signal service that is supplementing your trading income. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with selling stuff, because as long as people find value in it, great, right? Like the market is the ultimate barometer. If what you're selling sucks, no one's going to buy it. But the issue is, and I think the disconnect comes from, they're like, look at my life. My life is provided by my trading. When in reality, the reason they're able to live how they live is because of trading and all of the money they're getting from the other stuff they're selling as well. I think people would appreciate if there was more honesty in the fact that the life some of these guys living, it requires hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And to get that purely from trading, you got to be elite of the elite of the elite. And most people are not, right? Some of these people aren't. But if you can sell enough of the other shit to make up for it, you could portray, you know what I mean? I just don't think it's honesty. Like, people need some fucking honesty. I'm part of the Haven, yes. I mean, I'm part of a paid service, but there's 6 other analysts in there. It's not like some of these guys. Some of these guys are selling like mentorships where it's $10,000 for one person to learn how to trade from. To me, that's insane. Can you timestamp your YouTube video and go back and say we want you to review? You said about Fartcoin again. It shows us the timestamp of the chart. I'll just pull up the Fartcoin chart and you can look at it here. I would love to buy Fartcoin below this low. Gotta remember, guys, I'm unk to a lot of these young kids. I can't leave Canada because of the exit tax. That is 100% truth. The exit tax will absolutely rape me. So I'm just not going to leave. I might move somewhere else, but I'll never leave Canada for taxes because I will get absolutely raped. Why do you just assume a bullish bias right now? Your name is literally God. Why don't you just tell me what's gonna happen next with your fucking all-powerful omnipotence, God? I'm not assuming a bullish bias. I'm actually one of the few people who, when we were up here, said, I think we can trade down to here. The only bullish bias I have right now is I think we're due for a little bit of a bounce from either here or maybe a little lower. But I'm leaning towards a move here, and I'll get super bullish either lower or back above here. If you use the code Haven or The Haven, I think it will get you a discount on IMG. I'm pretty sure it's either Haven or it's The Haven. Let me check. IMG Haven will get you a discount. Use that, bro. Would I recommend the ICT mentorship? It depends. If you're willing to sit through the videos, there's lots of really good information in there, but there's also a ton of useless information in there that's completely unnecessary, in my opinion. And it can be very hard to watch and very hard to absorb. Being rich doesn't give you freedom anywhere, my friend. The more money, more problems, bro. In America, if you're super fucking rich, they tax you too. Canada's taxes aren't necessarily that much higher than America. My taxes are higher than someone who lives in Florida because there's no state tax, but I pay the same tax as someone who lives in California or New York. So it's pretty high. Are there things I can do to reduce it? Of course, but there's something called an exit tax, which exists in Canada. It also exists in the US. Whereas if you want to leave and become a tax resident somewhere else, you have to exit Canada as a tax resident. And to do that, they make you pay taxes on all of your fucking assets. Everything. I would have to sell all of my crypto. I would have to sell all of my businesses, all of my stock holdings, everything. Close all my bank accounts, sell my vehicles, sell my real estate. You got to get rid of everything. So you just got to do the math. If I want to move to Florida, is it worth paying millions and millions of dollars in exit tax just to save 12% a year? Probably not. Right? If I was moving to Dubai and I planned on staying there, maybe. Do I trade out of a corporation? Yes. Do I have plans to move outside of Canada? Not forever, but maybe for part of the year. Do I mind showing IMG? Not at all, bro. So there's 2 IMG levels, right? So the basic one draws all your order blocks for you. It can do ranges, order blocks, breakers, and you can choose what time frame you want it on. So if you look here on the H12, where are all the order blocks? Well, this is the H12 breaker, right? Here is an H12 order block right here. And it's just these green boxes. It's just drawing them for you. There's an H12 order block. This is an H12 order block. Right? Here's a bearish order block right here. It also draws the price ranges for you. So here's our 12-hour range right here. There's your 12-hour low. There's your 12-hour high. There's your 50% point of the range. So it does all of that stuff for you. It also will mark off SFPs, I believe. Maybe not. You can change what time frame you want it to show on. So if I want to see where the weekly order blocks are, I just change that to say weekly. And I zoom out to the weekly. And lo and behold, it draws out all the weekly order blocks. And then it shows them to you on the lower time frame. So this big green box is a weekly order block. But I'm on the 12-hour chart. So it shows it for you, right? So that's what the IMG Basic does, and it's completely free. It'll draw out your order blocks and your ranges and your breakers for you. If you want the IMG Pro, now let me be very clear. I did not create this indicator, okay? A couple of devs created this indicator, and they used some of the stuff I use in trading, but I didn't invent order blocks and shit or ranges or SFPs. But part of my system is coded in here, right? So if you look here on Bitcoin, you can have it actually draw out your order blocks, your SFPs, and actual entries based on how I would trade. So here, this is an H12 SFP. This is your H1 breaker, and this would be your entry, and then this would be your TP at 2R. This is an H12 SFP. There's your breaker. There's your retest entry. This got stopped out, as you can see here. So this has way more functionality. If you trade how I trade, there's a lot of use to having the full version because it can do all sorts of crazy shit. But if you just say, hey, I always have trouble identifying order blocks, just get this. Just type it in on indicators. It's completely free. Type in IMG Basic, and it will do order blocks for you. So if you're ever like, hey, is this a good order block? This will tell you. Can you go over the benefits of trading through a corporation or person? That's ask an accountant, bro. Ask an accountant. Give separate spot holdings. Yes. I drew that weekly fair value gap. Yes. I did not make the script. No. Is there an H12 and weekly range low sweep on Pepe? I mean, I'm watching this. Like, this is what I would be watching on Pepe right now is how is this 12-hour candle going to close? Weekly, no. H12, yes. Within demand as well. So worth watching. Bro, you got to ask an accountant what the best way to structure your trading, holdings, all of that stuff is. You should get an accountant. You should absolutely use a corporation. You should have multiple corporations, and you should do everything in your power to pay most of your tax at the corporate level and not at the personal level, because it's a way lower rate. What's up, Gabby? H1 BTC, please. What do you want to know? Nothing to talk about here. I hope it goes up. We ran a low. I'm hoping it trades higher now. Do you always use a stop loss, or do you find sometimes they're like a target on your back? Do you ever babysit entry and add stop later? I always use a stop loss if I'm not going to be watching the trade. So I have no problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with a mental stop loss, as long as two things can occur. One, you're there to execute it. Two, you have the mental fortitude to execute it. Let's say I long Bitcoin. I put my stop right here, but it's a mental stop. If price does this and you don't close, why not? It's below your stop. You got to, because well, what if it bounces and then it does this, right? So you got to have the mental fortitude to actually trust that you're going to execute it. But yeah, you don't need to have a stop on if you're there and you're watching it by any means. But if I'm sleeping, if I'm away from the computer, I generally like to have a stop. Another thing you can do is you could have, this is your mental stop, and then this is your hard stop. So you're like, okay, if it goes below here, I'll probably close, but then it's up here, but you want to protect yourself because you're going to be in bed in case it does this overnight. You know, you have a hard stop to protect yourself as well. So you could do that too. Thoughts on using one of those trader agents and plugging it into ChatGPT? I don't even know what a trader agent is. So I'm just starting to realize how fucking powerful ChatGPT is and start using it and shit. And it's crazy. And I want to use it more. Yeah, if you can't trust yourself enough to execute your mental stop, like, you should have a hard stop. And if you're beginning in your trading journey, use hard stops. Do you consider the monthly, quarterly open significant levels? Yes, the yearly too. They're all very significant. Like, people ask me, like, oh, why did you draw this level out on, like, Bitcoin? Where is it? Here, right? Like, this is a quarterly level. Do you not consider that significant? Look at the reactions it's had. Support, loses it, resistance, reclaims it, rips. Absolutely, it's critical. And I made that post today on Twitter. You can use the monthly candle the same way you use Monday's range. You can use the quarterly candle the same way. Don't move to Florida. It's not that great. Why not? I did not make the indicator. I don't know how much more clear I can be about that. Noob here. My stops often don't work. Am I confusing a stop and a limit order? So a stop is a limit order, but you need to make sure that it is reduce only. So if you're in a long of 1 Bitcoin, okay, your stop loss order, which might be here, needs to be a limit sell, reduce only for 1 Bitcoin. That way, it's not actually going to open a 1 Bitcoin short, because some exchanges will let you be long and short at the same time. So make sure you have reduce only ticked off. But most exchanges, when you go to order type, you just select stop order. Yeah, I really like Delray Beach. I like Boca. I like Delray. I like Coconut Grove, Coral Gables. Miami's a little too crazy. Could I pull up Launchcoin? I think Launchcoin is stupid, and I think this Ben Pasternak guy's retarded, and he just scammed you guys out of like 9 figures. I love my boy Thread Guy, but I wish he would stop platforming these fucking idiots, dude. Like, this guy's like, believe. It's like very clear that this guy was grifting. It's very obvious that this guy was grifting people. Don't you think? Like, if he's saying, oh, I want all your feedback. I want to know how to do this better. I want to make sure that we're doing this in a way that's great for everybody and everybody makes more money and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but like, where was that fucking energy? Where is that fucking energy before it went to fucking, you know, like, where's that energy back here? It just seemed like this was kind of scammy here. So what happens from here? I don't know. You hope to God that it finds support somewhere in here. Like, I guess there's some demand here. But I think a lot of people got fucking destroyed on this shit, I'm sure. Oftentimes my stop limits just skip over. So just because price trades to a certain price point, it doesn't mean you're going to get filled. There might not be the volume traded in that area, but I doubt you're trading with such big size that your stop orders get skipped over. That shouldn't happen. In Canada right now, you can use Blowfin. Link in the description. Use Blowfin, and you can trade there with no KYC, no VPN. Are we not supposed to be bearish if we lose the second fair value gap on the weekly, not the first one? Well, guess what, dude? If we lose the first one, we have another 5 to 10% downside on Bitcoin. And that would mean from the top, we're now down 20 to 30%. Altcoins will be smoke. So if we lose this, that's worrisome. But it doesn't mean it's over. Is that what this is all these years? Anyways. I would be willing to look for reasons to be bullish down here, but if we're strong, I don't think we should go below the yearly open. Like, we should not go below here if this is really, really strong. No reason to go that low. I think if we lose this, there's a very strong likelihood that we go to there. So let's just not even talk about that. I de-risked a ton of Bitcoin on the way up here, right? Once we lost this structure, I didn't sell like I told myself I would. So then when we bounced up here, I de-risked a ton up here. And I made a big tweet about it. I posted about it in the Haven. I posted about it in Telegram. I said, I'm taking some profit. I don't care if we go higher. I'm taking some profit. I made a ton of money on my buys. I had buys from, I bought here. I bought here. I bought here. I bought fucking down here. So you bet your ass I'm taking profit at 100K. I took some off on this retest, right? Because I thought we might reject here. So I sold some here. And then I sold the rest up here. 108K was my most recent sale. And I posted about it when it happened on Twitter. So if we go up, I still have exposure. If we don't go up, I've taken good profit. And I can make up for it by swing trading in the meantime. This guy just says, it's at support. What are you talking about? So you sold and bought the breakout from all-time high at the same time. That's not what I said at all. I bought spot down here, and I sold some of that spot here, and I sold more of that spot here. Would you rather grow a small account with high risk or save for the larger account and then trade with lower to market risk? Obviously, I'd rather have more money, but you should be trading a small account in theory the same way you trade a big account. I know that that's not really pragmatic and realistic, but that's how you should be doing. It's how you should be doing it. Most people are never going to do that because they want to turn that little bit into a big bit. But if you cannot manage $1,000 account, like I said earlier, what's the likelihood you're going to be able to manage a $10,000 or $100,000 account? Do you think Fartcoin is over? No. I would like to buy below $1 if I can. Could it be over? Maybe. I don't know. But if the market is going to continue going higher, I don't see why Fartcoin, the strongest coin, one of the strongest coins, doesn't continue to go up. Maine, quick question. Before you said to leave Canada, you'd need to sell all your crypto. Why would you? I'm ignorant to that, but I thought irrelevant because it's crypto. I mean, what you're asking me effectively here, bro, is whether or not you should commit tax evasion when you leave the country. So I'm not going to answer that question for you. I think that's a question that you can answer yourself. Right now, I've been using ChatGPT for a lot of health stuff, like workout stuff, diet stuff, shit like that. I mean, what do you think the best way to get out of everything now, or wait another week or two for alts to catch up? Because we could see a consolidation top of the weekly range. What do you mean alts catch up? A lot of alts are already overperforming to the downside. So you better hope that Bitcoin continues to go higher, because if Bitcoin doesn't continue to go higher, a lot of these altcoins are going to eat shit even harder. Right? Like Bitcoin topped Bitcoin topped on May 22nd. Fartcoin on May 22nd was here. It's down 35%, and Bitcoin is only down 7, right? So got to be careful. But you want everything to go up. Like if you're still holding, if you're still a bull, like we want things to continue. Sideways is okay. Down here is okay, but we want continuation to the upside. Any sort of slow drift down, any sort of bearish PA, altcoins get annihilated. So if you're heavily weighted in alts, the best thing that can happen right now is Bitcoin continuing to rip higher. I've never asked ChatGPT about the market, no. Yeah, I put in my blood work. It's like, you need more vitamin D, and you need this, you need that. Anyways, I got a call, speaking of, with a lawyer that I completely forgot about right now. So I'm going to dip. It's been almost a 2-hour stream. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter. Make sure you're checking out all the links in the description, guys. The Haven, if you want more, full trading course, trade signals, that's there. Free Telegram, free Discord, breakout, all my ref links, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, OnlyFans, Grindr, everything you need to know about me. You want to see my feet finder in the description. You want to see my butthole, OnlyFans in the description. You want to see my trades, Haven in the description. If you just want to hang out, chat with your boy. You know how to do it. I appreciate you guys as always. Likes, comments, all that good stuff is appreciated. I'll be back with another stream on Monday, but I'll probably post some kind of update tomorrow once the monthly close locks in, because it does look like it's going to close as an SFP. What does that mean? Does that mean we're going to do this again? I don't fucking know, but we'll talk about that over the weekend here. Anyways, love you all. Hope you have a great weekend. Make sure to go